Today I got a special one, man. 10 years anniversary of Ghetto Gospel, man. We got Ghetts. Maybe today we should call you Ghetto. I don't know, man.
Nah, do you know what? It's appropriate if you call me Ghetto today.
Yeah.
It's actually appropriate.
But you got a whole fan base that only know you as Ghetts. And if you say Ghetto, they're like, who you talking about?
Yeah. I guess it's kind of testament to how long I've been around and doing bits and bobs. But yeah, man, I like the different perspectives from different fans though. Like even when I sit down and just have a conversation with someone, if I've got time and I meet people on the street, wherever, or in the barbers, and people say they feel this and they feel that, and they might not have known about Ghetto Gospel. You know what I'm saying? Some people have backdated or whatever, but yeah.
Definitely an inspirational character when it comes to this UK MC driven music, man.
Thank you.
I think like you, and obviously people always associate you with Kano.
Yeah.
But you was an MC that inspired people to be more lyrical.
Yeah.
Did you get the sense of that as you've been like, you know, going through the years?
There was a generation that was coming up. 2 generations that was coming up, like Ice Kids era, Chipmunk, Criminal, like I was amazed by that generation. You know what I'm saying, and the generation after them. But particularly, I'm amazed by every generation in the UK, to be honest, because people add different flavours and they take a dynamic from whoever changed the scenery. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy to listen and hear. Sometimes.
It's funny because I know that you've said to me in the past that somebody like Skibbity
Yeah.
from the drum and bass jungle scene has inspired you.
Yeah.
But many might argue and say that he's not the most lyrical, maybe more flow than lyrics.
Do you know, inspiration's drawn from different places, and I just remember being a kid, and I think it was after school, and I went to my friend's school. Like, you know how you go to a bridging school after school sometimes and just link up, and we went around to his house, and I think the first video that I ever really connected with, I think it was of Skibber and Shabba, a black and white video on the box maybe. And I just remember feeling a weird feeling at that time and thinking that's something I would like to do in life. So that's why I say Skibber and Shabba, you know what I'm saying?
So 10 years since Ghetto Gospel, man.
Yeah.
Your second CD, a CD that came out, and I always say was, to me, it seemed like your first official CD.
Yeah, 100%.
After 2000 and Life.
You know what I done wrong with that, SK? I think I've always been fearless in the area of making music. I haven't been quite fearless in the area of business, and I knew at the time it was an album and felt like an album, and I don't know why I didn't go for it as such. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of downplayed it and called it a mixtape. That's something I always look back on and think I made a mistake doing.
Because all original material on it.
All original material.
All original material.
Yeah.
After 2000 Life, which was definitely rough around the edges.
Yeah.
Different kind of graphics. There was on the front cover and that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It sounded like it wasn't maybe as mixed down. But when it came to Ghetto Gospel now, it was proper themed. It's like an album, proper photo shoot, mixed down appropriately.
Yeah.
It had like proper videos and stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like when you was entering that sort of campaign, did you kind of realize what you were actually doing different then, and how it would maybe stand the test of time?
I never knew if it would stand the test of the time, but I kind of felt like this is different from anything anyone's put out from the country. I kind of felt like, yeah, this is my one. I'm proud of this body of work. You know, I felt like I found my lane, in all honesty.
Did you think that we'd be here like 10 years later even talking about it like this?
Nah, definitely not. Not when I released it, because the feedback wasn't what I expected. You know what I'm saying? Just coming off the back of the 2000 Life, which had the road buzzing, and of course the Risky Road freestyle, and the feedback from Ghetto Gospel at the time was very mixed. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't think that at the time.
I don't know how you feel about like the feedback now, because I remember at the time that when that CD came out, you had so much people that were loving it, but you had some traditional grime fans that were saying, "Ghetts, this ain't grime enough.
Yeah.
This ain't angry enough.
Exactly,
what we would expect from you."
Exactly. So I guess I was the first Red Indian over the hill, so to speak, in that manner. But it kind of, I don't know, man. I felt weird. I kind of felt like I had won over people that was never with me and disappointed the people that was with me from 2009. So it was definitely mixed emotions from me at that point, like where I've lost. It's like I've swapped, you know what I'm saying? And it just kind of set me into a frenzy.
I've known you for a little while, man. I've known you from actually when the first CD came out. I remember coming to meet you to actually get a physical CD.
You come to my yard
I think that was after though. I came to meet you for a CD for 2011. I think the times when Samurai gave me a link to you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But like that wasn't not too far after when you came out of jail. You know what I'm saying? Back then you was a lot more angry. I'm sure you would, explain that.
Do you know, I was more sure. So like the confidence, like imagine that, just like the confidence of coming out of jail and no one understanding what you're about to do, or you're about to do it, and you're about to do it, and then halfway doing it. So I had all of that, and now I guess due to different situations, I'm just a lot more humble as a person. But people take that, sometimes I've realized people take that humbleness as a moment to think how I feel. Not even test, like just like, yeah, do you know what you need to do? Like before, you would never done that. You know what you need to do, because I was more outspoken and very sure. So no one ever, like, you know what I'm saying.
What made you so sure then at that era then that you was about to do something?
Because I never had no one's opinion. So I felt one way and one way only. See now, like if I go on my phone right this second, good or bad, if I enter a social network, good or bad, someone's opinion's right there. Good or bad. Like, that's mad, innit?
Different era.
Exactly.
Way different era.
Exactly. So sometimes when I'm making a project even, I'm not even on social network. You know what I'm saying? Just
blacking out.
I have to do the most natural thing that comes to me.
So some might not know that you actually went to you went to a 7-day Adventist school, right? John Loughborough in Tottenham.
In Tottenham.
You had to travel, man.
Yeah, 123 147. Yeah, 147 123. Yeah.
So I mean that must have had an impact on that time, man. That time in your life, like you was in a Christian household. Go on, give us a fact.
Fun fact. Because you know music, yeah, you're gonna say raw. You know that me and Rich had the same English teacher.
Straight up. From Northumberland Park.
Yeah, Mr. Henry. Cold still.
Because he just had to walk a little distance between schools, right?
Yeah.
Was he at both the same school? No, he changed over schools.
At the same time he changed over. Yeah.
So I was going to ask you, man, obviously you had that very Christian upbringing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, 7-day Adventist school, North London, John Loughborough. Obviously your family were well into that. Do you know what I mean?
Still are.
Exactly.
Both sides.
So was there a time when you was making your music and you was like, I need to maybe hide this away a bit, because if my family hear this...
my mum and dad are young. So even though...
my mum and dad are young too.
Yeah, but even though God plays such a big part in our household, my mum and dad were youth club workers, and they had an understanding of youth. And I kind of felt like when I started doing music, my mum could see that I was very much into the music and not doing what I used to do before. And I guess she just counted that as a blessing. And no matter what I was saying on the record, like police weren't knocking on the door, kicking off the door. Remember, I've been free. I've been free. What year are we in? 2017. I've been free since 2003. So up until that point, I was a regular offender. So I remember, funny story for you, also another fun fact. I remember coming out of jail, my mum booking a holiday to Tunisia in December, maybe 2004 this was. And then Typical Me video was around the time that we had to go away. And I remember my mum saying to my mum, I can't come. And she booked the flight. Obviously, I've got no money to pay her back at this point. Just saying to my mum, like, in my head I'm thinking, if I go, yeah, why do I think things turn out differently? And I said to my mum, I gotta stay. She never understood. Yeah. And the other day at Christmas, She's like, she was basically bigging me up and saying that she loves the man I've become, and I said, Mom, you remember that time, yeah? Like, I was meant to go to Tunisia and I ended up on staying typical me video, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how things turn out like that.
Do you remember the conversations that you're finding yourself having with your parents at that time? And obviously they must have been like, you know, we've brought you up in this household, this godly household, this Christian household, and you're just doing what we don't expect you to do.
Do you know what's weird? Not like I'm some super goon or bad boy or anything like that. I've always been very mischievous. So I guess a lot of my actions wasn't out of character. So at the same time, I've not been the goody two shoes, but I've not been the worst. Like, I've not been, you know what I'm saying? So it was, you know what I'm saying? And then me and my dad are quite alike in a few ways.
What's inspiring Ghetts at the moment, man? We're in a whole different era now, 2017.
You know what's inspiring me now? We're in an era of, like, bangers. You know what I'm saying? Making sure that your live show is the show to come to. That's what's inspiring me. That's something that I've never focused on before, because we've never been in turn up era like this before, so I've never had to, in all honesty. Like, I'm from an era where people are going to listen to you in the capacity of just like that thinking capacity, you know what I'm saying? And I've realised now we're in an era of bangers, so like, hence one take, done already, like things like that. Like, so just, there's always things, even though I've been around for a very long time, there's always things I know I have to learn and to put in a locker, because I just like the art of spitting in itself. Like, I just love the art of it, being able to do something, being able to have something in my locker, being able to know, okay, if I want to be super technical and go and do a daily duppy, I can do that. If I want to simple it down and for reload purposes in Eskimo, I can make a one take or done already. Or if I want to give someone they can relate to and hold on to, something that's a bit more timeless, give them something like Ghetto Gospel and A Rebel of a Cause and whatnot. Like, just being able to have those in my locker, it makes me happy. But I know it's been a gift and a curse as well, being able to do all of those things well. A lot of people have the image that I'm the aggressive guy because they might have watched the fire in the booth or seen me on the set. Can't imagine that same person can do that on an album. Because really don't want to sound like I'm bigging myself up again, but it's an anomaly. Because there's not been many artists that have been able to do that at that level. You know what I'm saying? So it's an anomaly, but I'm willing to live with it.
Now, at one point, many saw Skepta as your arch nemesis. He's had a very successful last couple years. Konnichiwa album, Mercury Prize, selling out shows, a lot of collaborations with a lot of international artists. Now, I don't know if you've spoken to him recently or been around him, but how was seeing that? I'm sure you don't want to fight or anything like that.
It's
but
inspirational
for you?
It's very inspirational to see. Like I said before, when you see your peers do these amazing things, it inspires you to especially off an album like Konnichiwa, that's Skepta. You know what I'm saying? So for him to gain that success off an album that's true to him, it's very inspirational. Just like all my other brothers that are doing inspirational things, it's inspirational for me to witness. And people say arch nemesis, it was just a battle of the styles, you know? As you know, you'd see us laughing and joking, so it's never ever been bad blood, or nothing was ever said in that space where it was like these two hate each other, or anything happened outside of the music. It was very respectable. That's one of the most, in terms of the situations I've had with other MCs, that one has been the most respectable one. Like, even the approach, like a Skepta rang me and said, yeah, like we're both at the top of our, let's make it fun and exciting. You know what I'm saying? So
now, like, a lot of people will look at Ghetts as the OG, like one of the, you know what I mean, the dons.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new dons coming through, man. A lot of new names coming through.
Yeah.
How you feeling about the new crop of MCs?
I feel storms. Like, it's hard. Like, very hard. MC, like, so to see these people coming through, like I said, like I'm a person that draws inspiration because I care about the art of spitting so much. I will never sound dated because I'm able to look from the outside perspective, and I know that there's always a style that represents a generation. Everyone doesn't sound alike, but there's a style that represents a generation of music. But because I care about the art of spitting so much, I'll always find a new pattern to deliver, or a new pocket, you know what I'm saying, where it's, man, like, everyone knows I create these flows, man. I be creating flows, man. So, yeah.
My Ting featuring Shaka, is that on the album?
Yeah.
So this is the first thing we're hearing off the album?
Yeah.
So this is what people are going to be hearing first, thinking, is this what we're getting on the album then, yeah? Is this
no, because
the tone of the album?
No, because the album's always a chapter out of my autobiography. So unless I spend 24/7 partying, which I have not, album's never just going to be that one thing. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, that's a great instant party track.
Shaka's the go-to guy, man.
Yes.
How did you lot get in together?
Me and Shaka been working for a little while. We actually done 4 tunes before that, but records that we felt like that were great records. But this was what we want to put to the world as the first Shaka and Ghetts tune, because he's a very much vibrant man like myself, and we wanted the tune to capture that. You know what I'm saying? We've got a couple other ones that are sick as well.
It's been another big one myself. SK Vibemaker for Rinse TV with Ghetts.
I know. Big up SK Vibemaker for having me and talking about Ghetto Gospel 10 years later. It's been a moment, you already know. Say nothing.